Hey everyone, Eloisa here, and today I have another special video for you. What makes this video special, you may ask? Well, this request actually came from a subscriber who commented on one of my videos and asked all about client management. Basically, how do you get your invoices paid? How do you find good clients? So in today's video, I outlined some of the top complaints that have to do with clients. Sorry guys. And basically found solutions for them for you. The cool thing is I actually run a digital marketing agency, Rise Digital, and I've been in the space for quite some time now. I've worked at ABC News, I've worked at Paramount Pictures, 20th Century Fox on some major accounts with big ol' YouTubers, including some of my clients now. And the cool thing is that over my years in the industry, I've actually learned some really good practices. We're talking best practices on how to manage your clients. Really how to keep them happy, how to keep you happy, how to keep everyone happy. And these are some things that you are going to want to do if you are a brand new social media manager, or even if you're starting an agency and find yourself overwhelmed. Overwhelm is a good sign that you don't have the correct systems in place, especially when it comes to client management. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing that I notice every single creative having to deal with, especially if you're new, is something called scope creep. S-C-O-P-E space C-R-E-E-P. Creepy creep. I'm smiling, but there's nothing funny about it. Scope creep is terrible. So basically what happens is you find a client and you're like, hey, I can help you with this job. I can run your social media accounts. I'll just post it a couple times a day and then you pay me $800 a month, right? And you're like, okay, cool, like let's do this thing. So you have some kind of like handshake or verbal agreement, text agreement, or maybe even like a very light version of a contract. Then before you know it, you're working 5 hours one week, 10 hours the next week, 15 hours the next week, 20 hours the next week, and so on and so on. And your scope of work is starting to increase. And before you know it, you wake up and not only are you managing their Instagram account, but now you're helping them with their Zoom webinar. You're now responding to the DMs and comments. You're now posting stories all hours of the night. And you're also on call 24/7 with this particular client. Now the thing is scope creep can happen with a contractor, like your social media manager, or some kind of creative like graphic designer with bajillions of revisions. Or scope creep can even happen in like your normal like salary 9-to-5 job where you sign the agreement, you're gonna work 9 to 5. Before you know it, you're taking work home, you're asked to work on weekends, you're giving so much work that you can't finish it in your work day, so you have to come in early and stay late, and you're doing things that are outside of the original contract that you guys had already agreed on. So scope creep is one of the first things that I'm going to mention, and one of the biggest things when it comes to creative people. Something else that usually comes along with scope creep is your client or boss texting you or communicating with you all hours of the day. So outside of your normal 9 to 5, or they're messaging you late at night or super early in the morning, or they'll text you at night and say like, hey, can you do this one thing in the morning and have it done, this project? And really you only have like the 8 hours of nighttime to get it done. Or they're giving you work on the weekends. That is something where they expect you to be on call, and if you don't respond to them, then they get upset or they get irritated or they themselves get frustrated. So I'm so happy I'm not there anymore because of these strategies that I'm going to show you today. First things first is to be able to recognize a person or a client or business who will initiate this type of scope creep. The thing is, it's not just their fault, it's also your fault if this is happening to you, because you need to set the proper boundaries. This is how you beat scope creep, okay? The first thing is to recognize, are you dealing with someone who is a bit unorganized or has some type of lack of vision with their business or with their specific project? Or are they really busy. So they may be organized, but they may be super busy that they're not going to remember exactly what they agreed to do with you, okay? Or they may be working on a really big project. So scope creep is something that you do see on all levels. So brand new like businesses, but then also like huge conglomerates. And they're just trying to get the job done, and by any means possible. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a contractor and this is something that bothers you, what you're gonna need to do is get really clear in your contract. So in my contract, one thing that I have is that we will respond to your messages within the window of 24 hours during weekdays. So the thing is I had to put that in because there were times when my clients were contacting us at all hours as if we were on call. And on call is something I can do for, people who pay for it. But at this time in my life, I don't necessarily, we're not offering that. So within 24 hours, we will get back to you. So you have to put that in the contract because sometimes the client will want to change something last minute. And the cool thing is that we usually respond within an hour, but just in case we happen to be working on multiple projects or there's Zoom calls and something big happening, we give ourselves that buffer of that 24 hours to respond to them on weekdays. So one, you build that into your contract. The second thing you want to do is also build in exactly what you do in your contract. So you may say you will get 10 social media posts a week, 4 videos, and the rest carousels, right? So build that in. So what you will do, so you will give them the post, you will do some type of data analysis at the end of the week and give them a little summary every Friday or once a month. And then this is very important, you want to build in what you will not do with this particular service. So if you're a social media manager just for Instagram, you're going to put in there for what you don't do, that we don't also post on Facebook. But this is available as a separate service so that your client knows that, okay, well, they're not going to cross post to Facebook, but I can, pay more money and upgrade to this service. And maybe you'll say we will not do in-depth video editing, or we will not respond to all of your DMs and comments. That's one thing with a smaller account, which is usually okay, takes less time. But with massive accounts, so if you're someone who's over your client is getting crazy engagement and they're over 200,000 Instagram followers or 300,000 Instagram followers, then their DMs will probably be insane and their comments will be too. And so that's something that's going to take you a long time to comment back to everything, right? So you may need a team or some interns or some kind of auto response service like School of Bots, right? So you want to build in what you will not do and be very clear about this, okay? Now, the third thing you want to do is make sure that your client understands the contract. So what I used to do way back in the day when I first started my agency, when I was really just a contractor, solo, didn't really have a team yet, is I would send them a contract and then they would sign it on DocuSign and then we'd start. Well, what I do now is this really helps prevent issues, but you want to schedule another meeting with them, maybe during your strategy call or before you get started and before they actually pay, and be okay, so this is my contract and I'm just gonna touch on some high points really quick so that you know exactly what to expect, right? And then you actually verbally go through it with them. So you may be on Zoom and you're scrolling through it and it's okay, so this is a month-to-month service. You're gonna be billed on the first of the month, and then let's scroll down a little bit. These are some things we do. So we've agreed on 10 posts a month and X, Y, and Z. And then these are things that we don't do. So I won't be in your DMs. I won't be responding to all your comments. And I won't be creating email funnels. But the good thing is that these things are all available as a separate service, right? So you want to make sure that you let your client know exactly what they're getting into. This is also very responsible on your end because it saves you a lot of drama in the future when either one, you have no boundaries and you're letting your clients do all these things and you're overwhelmed and you're not delivering the service right, but then also saves them a lot of time because it lets them know what they're getting into and then gives them another reminder of oh, okay, so this is within their scope of work. If I want someone to build an email funnel for me, even though they know how to do that, I may hire someone else. Or I may upgrade to this service with them. Reviewing the contract with your client is muy importante. You want to make sure that you do it because it eliminates so much headache. It's gonna save you a headache. Trust me, I was there. And how do you know that you're there? You're overwhelmed, you have less time, you feel like this is unfair, and you're starting to dislike your clients. Sometimes, a lot of the times, most of the time, it's not their fault, it's your fault for not setting proper boundaries. Okay, take responsibility, girlfriend. Alrighty, the second biggest complaint that I see social media managers and contractors dealing with is payments. Money, 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 honey. Can you please just pay your invoice on time? I don't want to chase you down for my money. Okay, I'm sure if you're watching this, you can relate because everybody who's ever sent an invoice knows you press send and you're like, okay, when are they gonna pay me? Because I already did the work for this service, right? Right. And then the next issue comes is you're chasing down your client trying to get paid, and now they're not responding to your emails and your messages, but they're still sending you work to do. So that's the confusing part. Yeah. Or there's a holiday and they're just like, they're busy. But you may be saving your money for something special. And especially if you're brand new in social media marketing, maybe you took the leap and left your job, or this is your side hustle and you're saving up for something big like a new car or a house or paying off your student loans. Then waiting for money can be really irritating, okay? So we don't want to do that anymore. And trust me, I've been there before. So I set up some systems that are really have saved me so much time and energy, and I'm gonna share them with you right now. The first thing I recommend is to set up an invoicing software. So I personally use Wave. Now, Wave is pretty cool. It's because I work with people in the entertainment industry. It just works with them, and a lot of they're used to using it, and so that's what I use. I'll include a link down below in the description box. Basically what an invoicing software is that you can set up an invoice, like a reoccurring invoice, and it'll send to them whatever you like, maybe on the first of each month or every 2 weeks, and it just sends directly to them. It's really nice. You don't have to create invoices and PDFs or like on Apple Docs or anything like that. That takes too much time. It's a waste of time. Don't do it. But this invoicing software is essentially free, but when they pay the invoice, it just takes a percentage of I think it's 3% or something. It takes a percentage of your income, and that's kind of what pays for the service. So what I recommend is one, getting an invoicing software and setting up automatic payments, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is let them know when payment is due, and it'll be okay. And you're gonna send them the contract. When you send the contract to your clients, you're also gonna send the first invoice and let them know, once this invoice is paid, then we'll begin work. And I got this piece of advice from Iman, a social media manager on YouTube, and he said don't start any work, don't touch their profiles until that invoice is paid, okay? Don't start working until it's paid. You can focus on your other clients, focus on other things, because once the invoice is paid, then that's when they're actually paying for your time. You have to get it paid ahead of time. The cool thing is that now it's up to you to actually supply them with the service that you guys agreed on. So their social media posts or videos or engagement or whatever they need. But they've already paid the invoice, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is to set up automatic payments, okay? This is super important, muy importante. So listen to me, okay? You want to make sure that they save their credit card. And you let them know this too. It's like when you send them, when you're going through the scope of work and the contract and the invoice and everything, you want to let them know, heads up, with all my clients, I set up automatic payments. So when you receive the invoice, click the box that says allow reoccurring payments, and you'll be charged on the first of the month. Your credit card will. And when you present it like that, like this is a contract, it's written out, like this is the big daddy boss printer printed this thing out, so now it's officially official, then people don't really argue with that. Also, if they're another business owner, then they usually understand that process. okay? So the cool thing is now on the first of the month, or whenever you decide to get paid, you wake up and you have these notifications from Stripe or from Wave letting you know like $5,000 just hit your account, or like congratulations, you just got paid by insert client's name. Okay, so automatic payments will save your life. Now, I know some people that are like, they don't want to give up any money. Okay, so they don't want to pay for an invoicing software. They don't want to pay the 3%, whatever that percent is, because it's like, oh, that's like $400 that they're taking out. And which is true, you do have to pay, but you are paying for the convenience. So the cool thing is that one, it saves you the time of having to create an invoice, and then it saves you the time of having to chase down your clients and be that annoying freaking like bill collector person that nobody likes. When the time that you usually spend doing that, you could be using doing something else. So instead of having a headache about why they're not paying you, then you actually can just wake up to a Stripe payment. And the cool thing is that when you have more clarity and more peace around your business and your money, then you're able to go out and get more clients. So if you're trying to scale your business, this is a really good piece of advice, because the time that you would spend chasing them for money, you're spent actually delivering the service or training your team or marketing your services. Do you understand? Are you listening to the words coming out of my mouth right now? Do you understand? Essentially, that saves you from late payments, and it also saves you a whole bunch of time. Now, the final thing is you basically won't have to deal with these issues if you don't have any clients. But again, that's a challenge. You want to have clients, guys. These are good challenges to have, and it's amazing that you've clicked on this video. And if you're having trouble, one, getting clients, and number two, if you have some clients but you're having trouble getting them good results and they're upset about the service that you're delivering to them, then it might be time to actually get some more education for you. So what I recommend is downloading my digital strategic plan workbook. It's in the description box below. Just click it, and then you just gotta put your email in, and then you download it. And it's like 13 pages of some really good information, and takes you step by step of how to actually create a winning digital strategy to get good results for your clients. It's the very first step, the first thing you want to do before even like creating content and logging into their accounts and all that kind of stuff. Want to create this strategic plan. It's essentially a roadmap on how to get some great results. The cool thing is that this digital strategy is something that I use with my clients at 20th Century Fox and at Paramount, and currently with a lot of, actually every single one of my YouTube clients. Whenever we get a new client, we create a digital strategy for them. We look at their data, we analyze it, create an audience profile, an audience avatar, we even name their audience, and then we're able to come up with content that will actually get you better results. So we're talking comments, shares, saves, likes, all of that good stuff. And the awesome thing is that this formula has actually gotten me, this includes like a winning formula on how to basically go viral. We've gotten some amazing results for our clients, like going from 700,000 followers to 1.5 million over on Instagram. Me personally, I use this on myself, and on TikTok, I went from 0 to over 45,000 of followers in like 2 weeks, which is pretty crazy. And this was like, it was a test to see if the strategy actually worked, and it did. Alrighty friends, that is everything I have for you today. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment them down below, or any video requests. I want to see them because I am planning a 90-day sprint, 90 days of straight content that I'm going to be recording for you guys. So put all your questions and all your video requests in the comments down below. Also, go get your digital strategy workbook. You need this. There's people who I work with in like corporate marketing who don't even really do this, but I'm telling you guys, it's gonna make such a difference in your business and your own social media plans. So go ahead and do that. Okay, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button to let me know if this was valuable to you, and go ahead and watch some of my other videos. Alrighty, I'll talk to you later. See you in the next video. Remember, stay golden. Mwah. Bye. And yes. Oh, I'm a weird opera singer. Just kidding. Okay, I don't know what is happening.